show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me. Oh. My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
You are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. But I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, the station that leaves no listener behind, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon, Audible Music, Amazon Music, Podchaser, Tiki Live, iTunes, TuneIn, you name it, I'm there because I want to splatter more hope and happiness as many places as I can. Therefore, this show has no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kanye talk, past, present, formerly, or future, because y'all are one of a kind wonderful, and we do not need to be talking about other people and their lives. We need to be talking about our own and how we can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end. Yesterday I had a magician mentalist who's going to be taping at the Magic Castle. If you'd like to get in on that, go to drmarissa.life. I think we have 2 spots left. Dr. Tiffanie may be there as well, and that's November the 8th. So drmarissa.life, go sign up there. While you're there, sign up for my Tai Chi class, my last one this Saturday, where I teach you how to breathe and promote inner peace one breath at a time. And then Friday night, my last Get Happy Hour, free happiness coaching from yours truly. And you can also get coaching from this amazing, beautiful Inside and Out co-host that I have sitting next to me. You'll know it's Friday because we do have Doctas in the house. Dr. Tiffanie Tate, welcome back to the studio. I'm scrolling and trying to find my applause. Good morning, darling.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
It is Friday, and Doctors in the House is our newest and very popular series.
Wednesday.
Oh, did I say Friday?
Yes.
Wednesday. I don't know what day it is. It is Wednesday, and let me give you a little info on Dr. Tate. She's a U.S. Navy veteran, published author, and retired OBGYN from Compton, California. She is a Renaissance woman because I was telling my daughter this morning, who's visiting from San Francisco, that Dr. Tiffanie, as not easy it is to come from a community that doesn't necessarily, it's easy to be a doctor, a medical doctor, OBGYN. She did that. And then she had an unfortunate accident, unplanned, right? Didn't plan on falling and losing her ability to practice. She's still licensed as an OBGYN, but she did not spend too much time fallen. She picked herself back up. She's a cook. She's a published author. She's a playwright. She's a performer. She's a singer. She is, I guess, a Black Dr. Marissa.
Basically.
In that she does it all. She tries to do it all. And she has a great book. She's many books, and I want you to tell me about what happened on over the weekend. You did a book signing, and
Yes.
you can talk about that in the gratitude.
Yeah, that's what made me pick this topic, because at the Taste of Soul, we had our mahogany bookshelf, and I was signing books for my book Floetry, 108 Poetic Flows on Life, Love, and Liturgical Issues. And a woman was struck by my book, Bad Touching, which is this book right here. And she began to cry because she was in awe of the composition and the story behind Bad Touching, because it's a story of 2 little girls who were abused by the mother's boyfriend. And she herself had never been abused. And she said it's such a major topic and it's such a difficult conversation to have. And she just began to cry. So I brought her into the booth. I sat her down and I consoled her. And I said, I understand it is a difficult conversation to have, but in light of what is going on with in this country with sexual trafficking of children and sexual abuse of children, it is an important conversation to have with children because children need to know how to protect themselves from predators. So Bad Touching by me is an important book. I said it is a rhythmic story for children, and it is a must have in every home, whether you buy it for yourself, for your niece, for your nephew, a gift for anyone. It is a must-have book. And I was able to talk to her and I said, well, now that I made you cry, I need to make you laugh. So I directed her to my YouTube for my play, which is my gospel comedy, SBC, The Souls of Women Play. I said, I don't want you to leave here sad. I need you to leave here happy. So that's how we came up with the subject, Difficult Conversations.
And that is why, I don't know, I'm sure I've given it to you already, but it's things like this that I like to highlight and award. I'm giving Dr. Tiffanie the Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It is my honor. I just love, this is what life is about, folks. I just, I'm grateful for what I get to do. But every single day that I get to wake up and experience all that life has to offer and all the things and this whole thing around, there's so much tragedy in the world. There's so many bad things in the world. There's so much, pain, and how can you be happy and how dare you be happy? And it's like, in every bad situation, there comes an opportunity to grow and expand and also help other people. And I'm guaranteeing you that if I asked Dr. Tiffanie right now, would you have, do you regret anything that has happened to you? She would say,
nope, not at all.
And me too. And, even the horrible things that are happening at the border or the horrible things, if we could all, I don't know, drink that Kool-Aid that understands what life's about. Pain in life is mandatory, suffering is optional. And in the pain, coming out of the pain is power. And that there's no exception to that rule. Now, people can get stuck in the pain, right? And not get out into the power. But anyways, we're way off of breakfast, although that's sort of breakfast. The gratitude sandwich, that's a giant bun that I just covered with my gratitudes. Let's do one in specific so we can get going on the topic. What else are you grateful for?
I'll leave with that. I'm grateful for my pain.
There you go. And I'm grateful for my cashew gallery. We've got our two co-captains, Troy and Orville Nation PJ. He is streaming in from Portugal, not Spain. I've been saying Spain. And New York is also where he splits his time. And Troy Pacelli is from Chicago. And I keep meaning, I know you, Troy, did some nice comments and stuff on my YouTube. I haven't had time. I saw it go by. So just keep commenting. We just love it when people come and play with us in studio. Not literally, but figuratively. I'm on that thing. Let's see. Every morning that I wake up is a relief. Today, I'm grateful for being above the flowers for another day. Yay! Gratitude in. Good idea. Yes, a must. I'm not quite sure what you were talking about there, but hey, let's see. I'm kind of dragging this morning. I need to wake up with Dr. Marissa. You don't need caffeine. You got us. You got Dr. Tiffanie and Dr. Marissa this morning. All right. Let's go to the bottom of the button. The bottom of the button is we're modeling this before you go to bed. Instead of thinking about all the things you can do, all the things you, were criticized about, all the MS meaningless shiitake that you are scrolling through. We want you to affirm who you are in the best way. And I believe, it's my BS belief system, that self-care, self-soothing, self-love is the hallmark to good mental health. So what do you like about yourself, Dr. Tiffanie?
I like my compassion.
I like my quick thinking.
And I like my humor.
I like my sense of humor.
And I like my creativity.
I like my ability to write. And I'll say my grade 9 English teacher told me I was a horrible writer. So there's a part of me that wants to send her the #1 best-selling book on Amazon bestseller. But honestly, I have to thank her. Because she said that, I worked harder to hone that. So there you go. Within every criticism is a nugget of encouragement. There's a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Orville was talking about Dr. Tiffany's book that he is saying. That he was saying, what was he saying? Good idea. Yes, a must. So awesome. We got a heart. Thank you for giving us the finger. This one on the chat, as well as the hearts. Oh, we've got Jacqueline Green on. Jacquetta Green. Jacquetta Green is the second host winner of I Used to Run a Contest on KCAA, and she won the co-host. She still has yet to use her weeks of winning, so welcome to the show, Jacquetta. Always nice to see you. I met her when I spoke at something. All right, let's see. Sometimes teachers can do harm by being severe. Yes, but on the other hand, they can also do a negative encouragement. Troy's saying, I will keep commenting on the videos. It's good engagement, drives the algorithm, potentially bringing more eyes to the channel. And I appreciate that, Troy. All right, let's see. We're getting a piece. What do you like about yourself? Let's do one more. And we're doing this, it's modeling what I'd like you to do before you go to bed. Because frankly, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect someone else to approve of you? Dr. Tiffanie, what else do you like about yourself?
I like that I can dance.
And I like that I can sing. I've been debating whether or not, when Don Most came on, Ralph Malph, do you know his first love was not acting on Happy Days? His first love is singing. And this goes for both of us because we both sing and we kind of put that on the back burner to pursue our doctorates. And he just started singing again. I think he said like 4 or 6 years ago. Troy, do you remember that? I think Troy and PJ were both in that interview when I interviewed him. And, that's not that long ago. And he's already streaming on the charts in the UK. So I'm thinking, my gut is telling me that maybe it is time to open that singing Pandora's box for Dr. Marissa again. But I appreciate my ability to sing. All right, and that is it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
There you go. And there's my cheerleader captain singing stream from Dr. Marissa. You can actually get my original music on it was on iTunes, and you can get it on my website now. They're like 99 cents, and it goes towards my nonprofit, 8 Ways to Happiness. It's a 501c. So there you go. Go to drmarissa.life. Thank you for having breakfast with us. A Blissipline that I started about a year ago on the show. I promise you that if you start every day with 8 gratitudes and close every day with 8 appreciations, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. And now it is time. Drum roll, please. A real one. Yippee. The topic for the day, Dr. Tiffanie, please. You mentioned it during breakfast with us. What is the topic?
Difficult conversations. Because sometimes it is hard to have a conversation, whether it is on the job, whether it is with a family member, or whether it is in a personal relationship with your partner. And whether you are quiet and shy or whether you're a go-getter, you don't know whether to stay, stray, or walk away.
Ooh, I like that. Stay, stray, or walk away. So that's when someone says something, I missed that part.
Yes, whether you just stay and ignore them or stay and put up a fight, or you don't know what to do.
Now,
And
what if they said, I missed that part?
when you have the conversation, there's different situations at your job, where you are flustered and you are encountering a coworker who isn't pulling their weight, or you encounter a coworker who is dumping their work on you and you don't know what to do, or you have a boss who is dumping their work on you and you don't know what to do. Do you talk to that boss? Do you go above that boss's head? These are difficult conversations that need to be had, because in all these situations, if you don't say anything, you build up resentment, or you have that family member who is constantly coming to you and they're dropping their child off to you to make you watch them, or they're negating you, or coming to spend the night at your house and not cleaning up, or spending the night at your house and making a mess, or coming and eating at your house and eating up all your food, or taking advantage of you in one way or another. And you want to say something, but you also want to preserve the relationship. Or you are in a relationship and you're being taken advantage of, you're paying for everything, the other partner isn't doing anything, they're kind of financially abusing you. What do? You love the person, but you want to say something. Or you are in a relationship and things aren't going well. Do you speak up? Do you not speak up?
Yeah, perfect. That is exactly what I wanted you to do, which is always the first half of the show. I want to keep it real. I want to put the moose on the table. What's a difficult situation for you is the question. I'm going to put that in the chat for everybody to answer that question. What is the last or most difficult situation you've had to grapple with? Maybe you have or have not. I would love it if someone has a situation right now and they're not quite sure what to do. And then Dr. Tiffanie and I can dissect that on the Doctas table. So please do put in the chat your difficult situation. Dr. Tiffanie has outlined ones that I definitely have heard. Some I've experienced, people taking credit for your work. I get that a lot as an organizational psychologist. Favoritism. When I go and do consulting in the company, I'm working right now with a wonderful client doing strategic planning and change management work in Chino Hills. And what comes out in my initial, when I go in is, what's going well and what's not going well. There doesn't have to be anything wrong, but almost every single company I've ever worked with, favoritism, almost always not being appreciated enough, someone taking some credit, a dictator boss, co-workers who slack off. You mentioned
we have something in the chat from Orville Nation.
All right, go ahead, read it.
It says working with people who don't have the same ethics and treatment of others has often been an issue for me in personal growth industry.
Yep. People that follow the rules. People don't follow the rules. People that say, well, in a meeting, well, that's a stupid idea. Okay. Believe it or not, it does happen. People who tell dirty jokes at work. People who tell demeaning jokes, right? People who talk behind other people's back. I guarantee you the best the most effective communication mode at work is called the rumor mill. So if anybody comes up to you and says, don't tell anyone I told you this, but, or you didn't hear it from me, but, or this stays between me and you, guaranteed that has been told 150 times throughout the organization already. And you want to be really careful. When people say that to me, I actually say, to be honest, I'd rather be kept out of that loop because I just don't want to know, because I don't want to be then accused of you knew this and did not do it. I'm going to add a couple of difficult conversations. One is when someone has body odor. You say something, bad breath. You say something, you don't say something. This lipstick, I've had lots of compliments. Thank you very much on this new lipstick. But it does get down here sometimes. If I'm eating, and I'll come home and I'm like, why did somebody tell me I had a third lip on my chin? And I'll ask and they'll say, well, we didn't want, I didn't want to, make you feel uncomfortable. So there's some more. Do you have any other examples?
He made a joke.
You didn't hear it from me, but I heard Orville Nation, DJ, very funny. You're funny looking. Anyway. What Dr. Tiffanie was saying about walking away, I'm really bad at. I always want to debate. People push my buttons so easily. I need to learn to just let it be sometimes. Well, thank you for being transparent and authentic, Troy. You're not alone at all, but that's a good subtopic in this topic. How do you not leave your goat out where people can get it? How do you not expose the chip on your shoulder so that people can chip away? I'm going to do a talk on that. I think I just love this topic. And I love those titles. But anyways, so we're now in the second half, I believe, almost. We've got 2 minutes left. I want to give a couple more examples. Any more examples, Tiffanie, specifically that you've heard from people, personal life?
Yeah, I had a friend who she was on a trip and she was with her boyfriend and he had passed her his phone and she was doing something. He was like, hey, can you take a picture or something? And she saw a picture of another woman and her son. And she was like, in his phone. And so then after he gave him the phone back, because he wanted her to do something in his photos. So then after he realized the picture was there, he deleted those pictures. And then he went through great effort to show his pictures with those pictures gone. And so when she told me about it, she's like, but he deleted the photos. And so she's like, so I just stay away from his phone.
Okay. Yeah. Awkward. Yeah. So sticky situations is the topic for today. If you've just tuned in and wondering that's what we're talking about, this is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show formerly at 8 a.m. I'm glad you refound me at 9 a.m. I've gotten messages. It's like, what happened? I did get switched to 9 a.m. I'm trying to take it as a compliment that they needed, that we were doing really well at 8 a.m. number one, and now we need to make the 9 a.m. a number one slot again. So that's the story I've been told. So we're sticking to that, but we're so glad that you found us. You are tuned into my very special Wednesday series called Doctas in the House with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And we're talking about how to deal with difficult, sticky situations. Do you run? Do you stay and put your dukes up? Or do you let it go? When to hold and when to fold. And now we are officially in the second half of the show, so which I like to focus on solution. Don't let me forget to invite people for this weekend. So I was going to do a commercial, but I don't want to do it because we're on a roll right now. So, okay, so let's take some specific, when someone's doing something to you or saying something to you that you don't like, but you're afraid to say something because you're afraid to hurt their feelings, to put a wedge in the relationship, to push someone away that you don't want to. How do you deal with those where it's not work, it's a personal? So we'll start with personal. It's about a relationship. Someone comes to visit, stays at your house, makes an entire mess, as you were saying. Like, how would you approach that, Dr. Tiffanie?
I believe that a lot of times when you're looking at different things from my research and things, they said you should focus on the 7 C's with confidence, with clarity, with compassion, with compromise, with concern, with credibility, with courage, and with curiosity. And so you want to make sure that you go into the conversation with patience. And you want to be open-minded, and you want to respond and not react. And you want to talk to the person patiently, and you want to make sure you are heard, and you want to make sure that they feel heard in response to that. And you want to make sure you have a conversation and say, okay, I feel this way when you did this and when you made a mess, or can you please clean up this? And you want to make sure that you don't damage the relationship, because you want to preserve your friendship in the interaction. And you also want to you want to make sure you want to keep the friendship because you also don't want to damage that. And you want to give them a chance to respond, and you want to make sure you don't cut them off. And I believe there's like this 10-second rule before you respond, or you want to give them that 10-second cushion space to give them a chance to respond to you, to your speaking.
So that's great. I never heard the 7 C's before. The unfortunate thing is that I only have like 3 out of those 7 in my vocabulary. Compromise word's not even in my vocabulary. Neither is the P word. We do not have patience. Never had it. Never will. Last time I asked for patience, I got teenagers, and that was it. So for regular people, not like me, that you can use those 7 C's. I have a rule. I say, when should I say something? When should I not? The first question that I ask myself is, does this relationship matter? If it's just someone that cut me off on the freeway, that relationship doesn't matter. So I am more likely to let it go. I've been trying to let it go only because of law of attraction. Is the more I see people cutting me off, the more people are going to cut me off. So it's also what I pay attention to. So I ask myself, do I care about this relationship? And Dr. Arlene Hilton, a sister friend of mine, she gave me the term carefrontation. So I'm only going to have a carefrontation when I care about the relationship. Now, some people at work will say, but I don't care about these people I have to work with. I hate them. And it's like, yeah, tough beans. You have to work with them, and your success at work depends on that. So that's my work as an organizational psychologist. Task, getting things done, is supported by relationships. You may not like them, but you got to respect them enough to help you get your job done. So relationship at work, where you got to work with someone, your body, you better care about that relationship. They're writing your performance appraisal. So that's my first line of questioning. Let's see, we got, what's he saying here? So it looks like a 10-year-old with that huge cup.
That means you look like the fountain of youth.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's I lost it actually. It's got the M and it's got all the, this is my appreciation cup. Someone gave this to me that has all of the adjectives that I am, which is really kind of cool. All right. So if you're currently in a, Troy, have you noticed that Orville is really good at inserting comments that kind of take you off topic? Just saying. Just saying. Dr. Tiffany, have you noticed? No.
I love it.
It's a nice job.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, you can't do interventions with everyone. Choose your confrontations. Yeah, for sure.
That's right. You got to pick your battles.
Exactly. Now, I use the Serenity Prayer also as a tool for when to hold and when to fold. If you're someone who almost always confronts, so what is the Serenity Prayer? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. If you're a person that doesn't accept well, and you're the courage to change the things I can, you're always changing, you're always trying to address it, you might want to go to the acceptance. And if you're a person that kind of accepts too much, right? You're afraid to say anything. I was like that before, believe it or not. When someone would step on my toe, I would say, I'm sorry. And I'd be like, why am I saying sorry? I still do it. Like, in the elevator, you know how sometimes people like come in without looking to see if someone's in there? I've done it, right? And so, you bump into them. I'm saying I'm sorry. And it's like, why am I saying I'm sorry? I have the right to come out first, for God's sakes. But it's a habit, right? So if you have a habit of backing down every single time, you may want to listen to Dr. Tiffany's 7 C's on how to, say something. But if you're always confronting people, you might want to back down. That's my Serenity Prayer rule. Go ahead.
And I know sometimes we do find it difficult to confront people, and it can be a process because of how we were raised. Our parents or parental figures didn't really model that when we were growing up. Sometimes there's just a general fear of confronting people because we don't know how they're going to react. We have a fear of losing that relationship. And sometimes we just want to be people pleasers. And we have that innate in us because of how we were raised, because of our trauma history, and we have different issues. I know because of the way I was raised, I have abandonment issues, and I know that, and I'm working through that. And it's just a thing of knowing where we are, what we're going through, and what our issues are. And it's okay. Sometimes we have fears and different issues of fears of shutting down, or that tiger in us. We just want to fight. Like Dr. Marissa said, some of us always want to fight, like the song says.
When there isn't a fight, when there isn't, you go to MSU University, I call it. So MSU stands for Making Shiitake Up. So you think that someone's saying fighting words, and this is the problem with texting and emails, is the context and the cues are not even there. And communication is what, 55% body language, expression on your face, 40% is tone, pitch, and volume. Only 7% is the the 7% is in the content. No wonder we have text wars, because your MSU University, you're making shiitake up about what that person means. That's why it's important to have your camera on when you're doing Zoom calls, when you're in meetings. You need the context of what that communication is, because I go to MSU University all the time. I'm in grad school on that. I see someone not smile at me, and I make up an elaborate story of how they have the problem. So it's definitely something that I have to watch. All right, let's see what the Cashew Gallery is saying here. Orville, yes, messages lead to lots of misinterpretations of tone, for sure. We've got this. Oh, he apologized. Okay. Troy saying, yes, he is a bad boy. Yes, we know that. Let's see. Okay, we did that one already. All right, so we're caught up with our Cashew Gallery. Dr. Tiffanie, give me an example of a situation. Okay, you gave us one about the book at the book signing. Give me an example of a confrontation you had and you no longer have a relationship with that person, if you'd like to share that. Because those are the difficult ones, because we were talking about you want to take care because you don't want to lose that relationship. But sometimes that relationship is lost, and maybe that is a good and not a good thing. So I'm going to open that up with you.
Absolutely. I can say at my former employment, I had a coworker who I was really close with. We used to do half marathons with on a regular basis, all the time. Disney, in California and in Florida. We would travel the world and do the Nike half marathons because we wanted that bling. And basically, we had a difficult conversation, and I talked to her about my fall because I did not like the way in which we communicated about how the company had treated me after the fall. And after that, we stopped talking, and she actually even unfriended me on Facebook. I was like, okay, I guess we weren't really friends at all, because I didn't see a problem with her, but obviously she saw a problem with me. But I'm like, the truth is the truth. But
yeah. So I'm so glad you brought that particular example up, because it helps me highlight a Happy 88 tool that I use. And I also feel bad sometimes when a friendship that's been a long-term friendship is ending. And instead of I failed at that friendship, I have a term called friends for a season or friends for a chapter, just like I do in my book of romance with relationships, with romantic relationships. So your relationship with that woman was beautiful for the season that it was. And that chapter is over. And that chapter just means there's not a match anymore. This is the kind of language I've taught my children, and I try to live by myself, even though it's called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, and home to the Asian Oprah. Did you like the way that I just segued into the station ID? But what I was saying is I felt bad recently about a relationship that it's not a match anymore. And I was talking to my daughter, and I was reminded of another relationship in my past. We've been friends for 10 years. It was a great friendship. She made the comment to me that she was watching me for 10 years, and she said, you end relationships so in her mind, or in her interpretation, so abruptly, not abruptly, but like clean, okay? There's no like long drawn out drama, right? If there's not a match, there's not a match, and I don't need to reiterate or try to make that person understand where I'm coming from, or vice versa. And so I've held her criticism of me for that for a long time. And my daughter said, Mom, that's not a bad thing, that you can call things as not anybody's fault, or as a clean, it's just not a match anymore, not condemn the relationship, be grateful and see the plus advantages of what that relationship was, so that every time I look at that relationship, I'm not looking with anger, resentment, hostility, which are all not good for me, and my cells, my immunity cells. Instead, I see it just as what a beautiful chapter that was. All the things that I learned from that person, all the things, but there's not a match anymore. Mm-hmm. That to me is at so many levels. I'm so glad that my daughter said that, because I've been carrying this, I'm doing it again, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I always say people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And her season was over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. You're getting a compliment here. You only see her once a week. You can actually see her more. I'm just going to point out a couple of things that she has available for you. You have a website, Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and she does coaching. She has many kinds of offerings. She's got a book of poetry. She has, I'm going to share it in a second, but I'm missing the exact. I see the book. Where is is it the Facebook link, or it is the
Instagram?
Right. But is there a website or social?
Well, the social, and you'll have the website link. Let's see, where's the website link?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for now. But you can just Google Dr. Tiffanie Tate and you'll see things that come up right away. That's what I can show you right now. You can get her book of poetry called Flowetry, and that's actually how I met Dr. Tiffanie. She was a listener of my show and asked if she could be on to share her book of poetry called Flowetry. So here we go. She is on Facebook. She's got a Facebook page here. So I've already liked it, and you can connect with her there. This is interesting. What's this? Child abuse and trauma prevention. You were on another person's show, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've been on a few shows.
Good. And you can get her book on Amazon, anywhere. She's on Instagram. So go and see Dr. Tiffanie. She also does coaching. So that's another thing that you can go to her for. Anything else?
That's it for now.
All right. And I wanted to show you something you could come and do this weekend with me. It is, I'll just do this little promo.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes, body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢.
Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will.
And that is it for my class, my last class this year, and maybe the last class ever, because I am going back on the road with 8 Ways to Happiness on tour. So please do come this Saturday down to the beach. You know, the weather's turning. This will probably be the last nice on the beach excursion. So please come and join me this Saturday at 10.
Don't forget the magician.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. And you can actually, if you do not live in Southern California, you can go to drmarissa.life and get, for a $20 donation, you can get the DVD or download that I have created for you for people just to do at home. It's a 28-minute moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Thank you, Jaquetta. And yes, if you'd like to join me, let's see, I left him up, I believe. My guest yesterday is a magician mentalist, and he is going to be taping at the Magic Castle. So if you are at Jaquetta, you would probably really enjoy that as well. I'm trying to talk Dr. Tiffanie into going with me. It is November the 8th, and I cannot pull it up when I want it. Oh, here we go. The Michael Guten Plan show, and he is going to, let me share this with you. Share screen. Yeah. Here we go. And I told Dr. Tiffanie to remind me, this is a show that he is putting on at the Magic Castle. It's for free, and you have to be on the guest list. I think there's 2 spots left. So email me or go to drmarissa.life and then go sign up on my, if you go to drmarissa.life, you can either do it on the pop-up or go to the very bottom, and it will tell you right here, contact, and then on the subject line, either here or here, you can say magic, and I will get you to the right people. But you got to do that right away if you would like to go. All right? Yay! Thank you, Dr. Tiffanie, for reminding me to do that. All right, going back to the topic, I think we have time for a final word. We do. How do you get yourself out of sticky situations? How do you get yourself out of difficult situations? Dr. Tiffanie, you want to final word it for me?
I would say when you are preparing to have a difficult conversation, take time and prepare. Keep an open mind. Make sure you use I statements. Try not to be accusatory. Try to make sure you remember to listen and respond. What? Yeah, try to make sure you listen. I know it's hard. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means we should listen more than we speak. And try to remember that you may not get the response that you want. And it's okay to agree to disagree.
Beautiful. We're getting so funny chat again. But Troy's asking Orville if he's ever done Tai Chi. And it is the oldest martial art form. Qigong is the medical cousin of Tai Chi. And that's what the practice that I put together combines and melds Tai Chi and Qigong plus a little happiness coaching. Dr. Tiffany's advice on how to deal with difficult situations. Always great to get your she's always like talking to me too, because of the two of us, she definitely practices better than I do. I'm the brat when it comes to following what I should be doing, but I'm not going to should on myself. I will say on dealing with difficult situations, I used to fall into the trap of trying to please, and I'm constantly talking about the critic that we have that is chatting in our ear. We have an internal critic. We have an internal sad one. We have an internal brat who tells us, "What do you mean I can't eat that Krispy Kreme donut?" I actually have an additional character called Penelope, the people pleaser. And I developed Penelope as a coping mechanism because I was punished severely if I did not please a primary role model in my life. And I have to let go of Penelope to understand that it's not good if I'm continuing to try to sacrifice myself to try to please another person. I cannot control if you are pleased or not with me. I can only control how I am pleased or not with myself. Mm-hmm. And that is my final word on the topic of difficult situations. Let's see, we've got 3 minutes. Cashew Gallery, you got anything you want to say as a final word? As a change, we have some time for final words from the Cashew Gallery. If you're wondering what the heck a Cashew Gallery is, this is Dr. Marissa's version of a peanut gallery. We're just so fortunate that we have technology on our side, especially when it works, to have anybody and everybody go and free subscribe to my YouTube channel. There you will find the very special playlist of Doctors in the House, so you can hear all of our past topics. We've had some great ones. We keep having nice messages on there. Dr. Tiffany is my co-host, always gets a lot of love on our past episodes, and which is really great. So please do free subscribe on my YouTube TV channel. That way you'll get an alert every weekday morning, like Troy Pacelli does, to tune in and to really get involved in your life and talk about difficult topics like dealing with sticky situations. I do have one other thing that I didn't have, that I did an absolutely great show. Aw, really appreciate seeing Dr. Tate again. I'd like to do a happiness challenge for all of y'all who are out there who hear people saying mean things, telling stupid jokes, telling demeaning things, saying demeaning things. And sometimes we don't want to, especially if they're higher up in the organization or they're people who have an influence. You don't want to say anything and look like an idiot. Please do say something, because what you permit, you promote. We will never get rid of racism if we don't address racist comments when they are said. By the time you wait and think of a response, it's too late. Even if you just walk away, it's a start. Don't laugh, just walk away. Maybe they'll get the hint, maybe not. When you get a little more ballsy, if I can say that word, we'll see, Frank. 20 seconds, gotta go. You can actually say, that wasn't very nice. It's all about balance here on Doctors in the House. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Dr. Tiffany.